Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I want to start this video off by saying that rape is a terrible crime, and that this is not intended to offend or marginalize any victims of actual sexual abuse. A very common thread in feminism, exceedingly common actually, is that women bear no responsibility whatsoever for getting raped. This is an unusual opinion. We don't absolve someone who gets hit by a car of all wrongdoing, they stepped out into the road. We don't absolve someone who is in debt of all wrongdoing, they chose to buy an Xbox when already behind on rent payments. Of course, blaming women for getting raped is a terrible, terrible thing. It is not the woman's fault. However, we can recognize that there are some situations that lend themselves to a higher likelihood of rape. Situations like leaving an open drink unattended and not setting up a ride home can lead to being raped. Rape is not the woman's fault, but if simple measures to reduce the likelihood of getting raped can be taught, why not teach women how to be safe? Just like we learn to not step in the road, or learn how to manage a budget, we should be willing to provide help for women to avoid situations where they will get raped. What is disgusting is that feminists have opposed any discussion in this regard because it is viewed as promoting rape culture. This is where the feminist ideology becomes dangerous in addition to being ridiculous. In fact, some ingenious product ideas such as undercover colors, which is a nail polish detector that can detect the presence of date rape drug, have been slammed by feminists as an avocation of the so-called rape culture. Their argument is that products like these promote the idea that women should have to try to not get raped, instead of promoting men learning not to rape. There are two things wrong with this, though. Number one, of course women should not have to try to get raped. Ideally, that would never have to happen. But that's the fucking world we live in. Ideally, every person in the world would have been born like Donald Trump, where they can be set for life financially with minimal work. That simply isn't realistic. Sorry, Bernie supporters. Ideally, there would be no starving, dying children in Africa. We don't live in an ideal society. We live in, well, society. Women have a huge risk for sexual assault, and any means to protect themselves from that should be encouraged. This isn't blaming women for getting raped. It's just looking at the reality of the situation. And number two, 99% of rapists, and I'm being conservative here, don't rape their victims because they don't know any better. Brock Turner, for example, didn't think that dragging a woman out behind a dumpster and forcing himself on her was acceptable. Rapists rape women because rapists are pieces of shit. They know it's wrong, yet they do it anyway. Teaching men not to rape has already been taught, and is therefore not an accurate response to this issue. I want to reiterate that women should not be held accountable for being raped. Rape is a terrible, awful thing, and it truly upsets me that it is as common as it is. But I do have to wonder how many rapes the SJWs who have shut down projects like Undercover Colors have been responsible for by making sure these projects don't get off of the ground. In short, we know that women are not responsible for preventing rape. We know that ideally this would not be necessary. Our society, however, is not ideal, in far more ways than this. Arming women with the knowledge and products to prevent rape is 100% necessary. Teaching men not to rape has already been done and does not fucking work. So that's all I have to say on the matter. Thanks for listening.